Today, we will study or start a course on Introduction to Basic Python. Now, this course aims towards the students who are studying in school, especially in the classes 9 to class 12, where computer science is one of the subjects and Python programming is also included there. And as well as for those students who are studying in colleges, those students also are those learners who would like to know very basics of Python. So this is the part one of our course where we will study a very basic things about the Python. And after that, gradually we will go towards part two. Now, the topics that we will cover in this part two is why Python, then introduction to Python, Python keywords, and at last, the identifiers. Now, let us first try to understand that why we require to know Python, why Python is required. Firstly, it is very easy to learn. It almost looks like an English language that we write. Simple English language we write, simple English sentences we write. In the same way, it's like an English language while we are going to learn Python. So that is the reason it is so simple for the beginners to read and write codes. Now we can work everywhere. So Python programs can run either in Windows or Mac or Linux without any changes. And not only that, it is also very ready-made help. It has a ready-made help. Why? Because of a large number of built-in libraries like toolboxes that has made the coding faster and easier. Now, Python is used in many fields for making websites, for making games, for making apps, then in robots, and as well as even in science projects. And at last, but not the least, it is a big community. Millions of people use Python. So it's very easy to find help, tutorials, and answers online. So after we know that why will we use Python, now let us introduce Python. What is Python? As we know that what is a program? It is an ordered set of instructions which is executed by a computer and which perform a specific task. So a programming language is used to write these instructions for the computer. Because computer, let's say we have some instructions. Based on the instructions, we are going to get a result. So how is it possible for us to get that result through computer? So then we have to write those instructions for the computer. And as we know from digital electronics that computers naturally understand only machine languages, which is zeros and ones only. And sometimes it becomes very difficult for the humans to read or write. If any program is represented in the form of zeros and ones. So to overcome this difficulty, some high-level languages has been introduced, such as Python, C++, Visual Basic, PHP, Java, etc. Now, the programs which is written in high-level languages, they are called source code. Means you are writing codes which works as a source of information. That means each code in a program is a source of information. And as we know that since computers cannot directly understand the source code, so it requires a language translator, sometimes compilers, and sometimes interpreters. So Python that we will learn here, Python uses an interpreter. What it actually does, it translates and executes the instructions one by one. And the interpreter stops execution if an error is found or after successful completion of the program. And what does a compiler do? A compiler contrast, it translates the entire source code at once into objective code and then reports all the errors after scanning the whole program. So let me repeat once. Why interpreter is required? Interpreter translates and executes the instruction one by one. And interpreter will stop execution if there is an error found or after successful completion of the program. So there are two situations, when interpreter stop its execution. Number one, if it finds an error in the program, or after the successful completion of the program, the interpreter will stop execution. Then what the compiler will do? The compiler, in contrast with the interpreter, it will translate the entire source code at one go rather, into an object code and then reports all the errors at a time after scanning the whole program. Okay. Now, let's talk about some features of the Python. So we have understood why we will use Python. We have already now read that what Python exactly is. Now, there are few unique features of Python programming for which reason Python has become a famous amongst the programmers nowadays. The first feature is, obviously it's a high-level language which is available free of cost. That is, it is an open source language like Java and others. Then it is an interpreted language, which means that its programming are executed line by line by an interpreter. Then the syntax of Python is very simple and well structured, which has made its programs very easy to read and write. Now, Python is a case-sensitive language. Let's say, if we write number, all the letters are in capitals. And if we write number, the same word again, where all the letters are small. So these two words should be treated as different identifiers. Obviously, the word number, when we will use all the letter capitals, is not same as when we write the same word using all the letters small, since Python is case-sensitive language. Now, it is also a platform independent and very portable. Means Python can work across different operating systems and hardware. And it offers a vast collection of built-in libraries and functions, which simplifies coding tasks. And unlike many other languages, obviously Python uses indentation, which defines code blocks and nested structures. Now, in this introductory Python, we need to understand that how will we work with the Python. So we have already read the various features of Python. Now we need to understand that how will we work with Python. So as we have already read earlier, that Python works on interpreter. Okay, so an interpreter is must to run a Python program or write a Python program. So to write and run a Python program, a Python interpreter must be installed on the computer, or we can use an online interpreter. Okay. And the interpreter is also known as Python shell. How will we understand that we have installed a Python shell? Very easy. Once we install the Python shell, this greater than symbol three consecutive greater than symbol will appears. These are called Python prompts. Okay. So then a white window will appear with these three greater than signs, which is called Python prompt. And we will understand that Python shell has been installed. Okay. Now the prompt indicates, what does the prompt indicates? The prompt indicates that the interpreter is ready to accept instructions. Now users can type commands or statements at this point prompt, and the interpreter will execute them immediately. So now let's come on to the portion which is execution modes of Python. Now there are two execution modes of Python. One is interactive mode, one is script mode. Now what is interactive mode? So in interactive mode, Python statements can be typed directly at the prompt. Just see the below screenshot I have already attached over here. You see that this is the prompt. Let's say we have calculated 5 plus 3, and once you put the enter, hit the enter of the keyboard, you will get 8. Okay, so this is interactive mode. In interactive mode, the white window that you will get, it will consist this prompt. So this is interactive mode. The Python statements, any of the Python statements can be typed directly at the prompt, and after you press enter, the interpreter immediately runs the statement and shows the output. Now, why this mode is used? Because this mode is very, very useful for very quickly testing a single line command. See, let's say 5 plus 3 is a single line command. Again, print hello Python is a single line command. So if you want to test the print function, then we can use this print function only in the Python interpreter. Interactive mode, I'm sorry. In the Python interactive mode. The once we press enter, then we will get this output. So this mode is very useful. That is why it is said that this mode is very useful. This interactive mode is very useful for quickly testing single line commands. Now, the drawback of this mode is that we cannot save for later use. This is the only drawback. And if we want to run the same code again, we again have to retype the statements. Now so this is the interactive mode. Now there is another mode, which is script mode. Now what is script mode? Script means when you are writing a script. When you are writing a script, that means you are writing the whole code. That is called script. So a Python program is written inside a file in script mode, and after that executed using the interpreter. Like the screenshot that I have shared here. Here you see print hello, this is script mode. So first the print mode, then x equal to y 10, y equal to 20, then print sum is comma x plus y. Now what will be the output of this code? Firstly, the print command will print the heading, that is hello, this is script mode. After that, since we have given x equal to 10, y equal to 20, and now it will print the sum is equal to x plus y, which is 30. So see, this mode we have written the whole code, and accordingly we got the output of the program. So that is why it is written that in script mode, the Python program is written inside a file, and then it is executed using the interpreter. And the moment we will save the Python file, the extension will be .py. Always we have to keep in mind the extension will be .py. And by default, the script file are stored in the Python installation directory. Now let's come to keywords. There are few keywords in Python. So now we need to understand what keywords are. So these keywords are a special reserved words in Python. And each keyword, it has a fixed meaning for Python interpreter. That means we cannot use a keyword as our own choice. We have to use the keywords as per Python's library as it has been defined in Python. So keywords can be used only for its defined purpose in a program. We cannot use keyword for our own purpose. And Python is case sensitive, as we know, so keywords must be typed exactly as given. That is, true is not the same as true. Let's say in the first word true, T is in capital and the other words is in small. But in the next word, which is also true, where all the letters are in small. But these two words are not same. Why? The reason we have already studied earlier, and again here the same, Python is case sensitive. So these are the list of defined keywords in Python. I am reading few of them like AND, which is logical AND, used for combined conditions. Then OR, that is logical OR. Then while, creates a loop, etc., etc. The full table is given here. Then if checks a condition, then else runs when if condition is false, then elif checks another condition if previous if is false. So like this, all the keywords are here. So you see these keywords, they have a defined meaning. I cannot use while as a variable, or I cannot use continue, the meaning that has been defined in Python, beyond that. What does it mean? That is, continue should be used to skip the current loop step and goes to the next one. This is defined in Python. So I have to use this keyword for doing this particular function only. I cannot use continue for my own purpose apart from the purpose which is defined in the Python. So that is the reason that keywords should be used according to the program definition. That means, or according to the program definition means, the keyword has already been predefined in Python library. So according to the definition, we have to use the keyword, not according to our definition. All right. Now, we are going to study the list of Python identifiers. Now, Python has identifiers. What are identifiers? Identifiers are names used for programming language to identify a variable, functions, or other entities in a program. From the name, you can very easily understand identifiers. That means it is identifying something. What does it identify? A variable, functions, or other entities in a program. Now, there are few rules to name identifiers in Python. What are those rules? First, starting character. So whenever an identifier will start, or an identifier must start with either a letter, maybe uppercase or lowercase, or an underscore. But no identifier can begin with a digit. Now, few characters can also be used in identifiers. What are those allowed characters? Now, after the first character, either we can include letters small a to small z, capital A to capital Z, or digit 0 to 9 or underscore. Now, let's come to the length of identifier. For honestly speaking, there is no fixed restriction on length, but It is generally recommended to keep name short, clear, and meaningful. Obviously, we should not put a big name to the identifiers. That can be cumbersome for anybody to read, and it would not be at par with the program. Then the keywords. Identifiers cannot be same as Python's reserved words. That means, as we have already read earlier, that in the previous points, identifiers mean it will identify few variables, few functions like this, as we have understood we have read in the previous that identifier must start with a letter or either uppercase or lowercase, and it will either identify a variable or function or any other identities. So identifier should not be used with the name of any reserved words or keywords. Now, we can also use special characters. What are those special characters? We can use symbols like exclamation, at the rate, hash, dollar, percentage, etc. But